Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Secrets to shut down stress and end the struggle with stress eating. Even if you think, hey, I'm not really a big stress eater, stress can still prevent us from losing weight, and it actually helps the weight, makes the weight creep back on for a lot of us. I'm going to give you the secrets to shut down stress and end stress eating. I am Pamela Pedrick, hashtag the Reformed Dieter, your health coach, teaching you how to lose weight without dieting, without dieting, without dieting. And I also coach busy, stressed women on how to lose those stubborn, sticky pounds that are weighing them down from having the body and the energy that they want without dieting, without deprivation, and with ease and fun. And as you're logging on, whether you're joining me live or watching the replay, let me know where you're coming in from. Say hello, say hello. If you feel like someone could benefit from this, please share it with them as well. So stay tuned to the end because I'm going to give you some goodies as well. All right. So are you excited? Like, how many out there can say, yeah, I'm stressed? Like, even if it's just a little bit, right? Some of us actually work in very stressful jobs. I used to work in a very busy children's ER. So yes, I could say I was stressed, right? And even mild stress affects our weight. It either prevents us from losing the weight or we reach those weight loss plateaus. Like, has that ever happened to you where you've reached a weight loss plateau and then you're like, dang, I can't lose those sticky, stubborn pounds. I'm going to show you how we can shut down that stress. All right, so let's get ready to rumble. I don't know why I just said that. That's like was it a wrestling terminology? So, secrets to shut down stress and end the struggle with stress eating. Guess what? No matter how stressed out that you are, maybe you've come to the point where, hey, you've lost the weight, right? And you're doing really well, but it's slowly creeping back on. Stress might be an issue for you. If you feel like, man, I'm doing all the things, like, has this ever been you, or maybe it's you now? I'm doing all the things that I need to do to lose weight, but nothing's happening. Like, the scale is not even moving, right? Stress could be the underlying issue for you. So we're going to learn how to shut down the stress tonight. So just curious, what would it feel like if you had an easy way of eating where you can still eat everything? Yes, I said it, everything that you want to eat while maintaining a positive sense of being in control, even when you are stressed. Like, even though you feel like you could eat everything in the house, you don't, because you got that positive sense of being in control even when you are stressed. So how would that feel? And how would it feel to finally overcome the stress eating? I don't know about you, but I was a big stress eater, right? And the weight I would lose some pounds and inches, and then the stress would hit, and I was a huge stress eater. So how would it feel to finally overcome the stress eating and increase your weight loss results? You know, get over that weight loss plateau. How would it feel to finally get that? And just curious, what if you were able to do all of this without ever giving up your favorite foods, depriving yourself? Yes, there's no depriving yourself, right? Or going on yet another diet, right? How would it feel if you were to do all of this? What would that be worth to you? Let me tell you, if someone would share this with me when I was going on my whole weight loss and health journey and talking about stress, because I felt like I was just hitting my head against a brick wall at times. If someone were to say, yo, you're under stress, guess what? That's probably the issue. I'd have been like, what do I need to do? Like, give me 1, 2, 3, 4. What do I need to do? I'd have been like, yeah, give it to me. So if you've ever struggled to lose weight and increase your energy and you just feel like you're missing something to get the results you desire, guess I know how you feel. You see, because I've been there. And I am a registered nurse. I worked in a busy pediatric emergency room. Anyone in healthcare knows it's stressful, right? There are times when we're really stressed out, and there are times that it's like a low kind of chronic stress. And as a result of gaining all the weight, I was a professional yo-yo dieter. Yes, it was my second job. And I really did try to resist those sugar cravings when I was stressed, especially ice cream. I mean, Ben and Jerry's was my go-to. Even if I didn't have anything in the freezer, I would get in my car, go to the grocery store, and hope that there was a BOGO, like buy one, get one, because I didn't want just one. I wanted two, and I would literally eat both of them in the same night. Yes, I would end up physically sick to my stomach, but I just kept eating. And it came to a point where I ended up as a weekend stress binge eater. I would binge eat, and I'm not saying overeating. I'm literally binge eating all weekend long. And yes, there's an emotional component as well as the stress component to it. So as a result, I was at my highest weight ever. I was looking for another diet, praying that that would be, the end all be all. I craved sweets all the time, and I was exhausted and I was stressed. And so I thought something has to give here. I mean, I'm in my 20s, heading my 30s. Something's got to give here. So I set out on my own journey, and I learned what occurs in our bodies and how to lose weight. And guess what? It is not restricting calories and moving more. Many of us actually need to eat more calories than what we're consuming. So after a year of researching, yeah, Google and I became BFFs. I no longer struggle to lose weight. I actually say no to sweets when stressed, which was huge for me. When I was able to do this, I'm like, yes, it actually works. And this is after years of always saying yes. And I would not have just one donut. I would have 2 donuts, and then I'd sneak in and get a third donut, right? No one's watching. I'll sneak in and get another one. Yeah, that was me. Now I have 3 times the energy. I lost 18 pounds and 22 inches. I no longer diet, no more dieting for me. And I know how to shut down stress and stress eating. And when I find myself with the pounds kind of creeping back on slowly, I look at what's been going on in my life and I'm like, yes, it's stress. Now, and I actually I implement these techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. And now, as a result of my own personal journey, I am now a certified health coach, helping others to do the same, to lose weight and to do so permanently. So here's my life now. Here's me with some fellow health coaches. Here's me here up at the top right. Yes, I'm showing my pants. Why? Because I've lost inches. If you struggle with losing belly fats, like if you're able to lose weight everywhere else, but then you've got the belly fat, it's stress. It's all related to stress. And I'm going to go into detail about why that happens and what goes on. So I was excited because I'm like, yes, belly fat's going down, because that was always the hardest part for me to lose. So here's what you will learn tonight. You are going to learn what stress does to our bodies and how it affects our weight and our weight loss efforts. Because we have to understand what's going on in our bodies so that we know why we're doing what we're doing, why we're implementing these techniques, and why it works. I'm going to share with you how to de-stress in 2 minutes. 2 minutes to de-stress so that you can resist those sweets and not binge eat or overeat without giving up your favorite foods. You can still eat them in a controlled manner. And I'm going to help you to burn fat. And guess what? It is as easy as breathing. Say what? Yeah, when I first learned about this, I'm like, no way. It cannot be that easy to burn fat. It is. I'm going to share with you how and why that happens. And you will also discover when you learn and implement this one tool, how you can keep the weight off for good if you continue to implement it. And for some of you, I will actually share with you a way to dig deeper into all of this. So you might be asking yourself, that's great, but does this work? Here's one of my clients, Susie. Her thing was to go every morning to go to the vending machine to get a Snickers bar. That was her way of comforting, it's a coping mechanism for her. She worked in a very stressful job. And she says, I don't feel deprived and I'm making healthier decisions. No more turning to the vending machine for that late afternoon candy bar, which it was a huge for her. That was huge. And here's another client, mine, Trisha. She says, it's not a diet plan. It's different because it helps me know that I can keep the weight off. And the program held her accountable for herself. The creative action guides were helpful for her to stay on track, and they were easy to implement even with my busy schedule. No matter how busy you are, you can implement these tools I'm going to share with you. So you'll be thinking, is this for me? If you're busy and stressed out and want to easily kick that stress eating to the curb, yes, this is for you. If the thought of drastically changing what you eat stresses you, this is for you. Honey, I've been there, done that. I actually went vegan for 18 months and it stressed me out, let me tell you, because it was a complete change in how we eat. Now, we also incorporated some juicing and raw, and last semester nursing school hit and I was just trying to survive. So that kind of went out the window. It worked for me, felt great. Now, and if you've ever been freaked out by the thought of starting yet another diet, because that was me. I'm like, well, maybe this diet will work. But then in the back of my mind, I'm always like, but what if it fails again and I can't get this weight off, or I gain even more weight than I've gained? So you want a simple way to get the stress and eating thing under control, this is for you. Once again, even if your eating is not affected by stress, your body is, and it will still prevent you from losing weight, or it will actually help make you gain weight. So if you're worried about feeling deprived because you've seen how almost everyone else does it, right? Depriving yourself, decreasing all those calories, and you're eating all the diet type foods, this is for you, because you're going to discover how to overcome this common obstacle to losing weight, which is stress and stress eating, without giving up the foods you love. Do I eat dessert? Absolutely. Do I still do Ben & Jerry's ice cream? Absolutely. But I'm not out of control with it. So what it's not and who it's not for, it's not a diet. It's not for those looking for how to eat less and exercise more. It is not about eating those diet type foods. Snack rolls comes to mind. They still even do that, snack rolls. It's not for those who want to do nothing and lose weight. So this is no push button stuff. You actually have to implement the tools that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. And did you know, this is staggering to me, 98% of us who diet and lose weight actually gain it all back within 6 months. And this is the reason why I've kept going from diet to diet to diet to diet, because I would gain the weight back with some friends and family members as well, right? An extra 5 pounds at times. Only 2% keep it off. It's interesting. So no matter how much weight we want to lose or how energetic and healthy we want to be, we need to know, as well as implement, what will help us to shut down stress. Now, the two biggest struggles for me were I was stressed out. And then even those days at work where it wasn't really a lot of stress, I was still under that mild chronic stress. As a result, I was exhausted all the time. I got to the point where I was living off of caffeine to survive, and then I couldn't sleep. And then because I couldn't sleep, I was short on energy, and then I was eating all kinds of things, and it was like a catch-22. Does that sound familiar to anyone? And I craved sweets all the time. Whenever they brought sweets into work, I would always have 1, 2, 3, whatever it was. I'd go back, keep going back, right? And I was a weekend closeted stress binge eater, love affair with Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and then Papa John's came in the scene. So yeah, all three at once all weekend long. So my solution for me personally was, okay, I'll cut out all the bad foods. I'll go no carb. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Like no carbs. This stressed me out. Why? Because I felt like I was deprived. So then my solution number 2 was, okay, let's stop the diet thing. Diet seemed to, make me focus more on the food. So I heard about this thing called intuitive eating, and I thought, let me see, I think it does. So I thought, okay, well, let me just listen to my body. Let me just eat what my body wants to eat. And I did, and I did, and I did. And so I ended up eating, like overeating, and then gaining the weight back. So then I thought, there are people who work very stressful jobs and they lose weight and keep it off. And I'm like, well, how do they do that? How does it work for them? So I went on my journey. And what I did is I took action with researching online what works. And I had to literally sift through all these fad diets. This might sound familiar to you. You Google how to lose weight, and then you get all these like fad diets, and you have to really go in and what works. And I'm a science nerd at heart. I'm a science geek. So I was looking for what goes on in our bodies to help us to lose weight in a healthy manner, right? And so I took what I learned and I implemented. I was testing everything. I discarded what didn't work for me. You have to find what works for you. It is not a one-size-fits-all mentality. Not about that. But when it comes to stress, there's tools that work. So I just bit the bullet. And it was probably like on a major birthday, right? Eating the leftover birthday cake, stuff in my face, going, woe is me, I'm another year older, and I've got all this stuff going on in my life. Can anyone relate to that, right? So it's like, I had to come to Jesus moment. I'm like, is this going to be my life? Like, seriously, am I going to be struggling over losing this weight, exhausted all the time, stressed? There's something's got to give. So I just bit the bullet, and I invested almost a total of $7,000 to learn the best process. And guess what? It is not dieting, my friends. I learned what works no matter what diet, and I have diet in quotes. You can have weight loss, plan or meal plan. To me, diet is depriving yourself, cutting your calories, and moving more. Or meal plan we follow. It'll work no matter what you use, okay? So secrets to shut down stress and stress eating. Here's how it's gonna work. Secret number one, we're gonna start our day off right, and I'm gonna show you how and what needs to be done. Secret two, less is more. And I'm not talking about food on this one. Secret three, breathe, breathe, and breathe some more. I'm gonna share with you how you can burn fat just by breathing. All right, now, stress affects us in many bad, negative ways, okay? First off, it increases cortisol production. When you hear the word cortisol, you might be familiar with the word already. Think stress and weight gain. Cortisol is our stress hormone. The more cortisol we have, the higher the levels are, we will gain weight, and it will be difficult for us to lose the weight. And it's associated with weight gain, especially in the belly. That's me. Like, hardest part for me to lose was in the belly. And an inability to lose weight or gain muscle, and also premature aging. So if you've reached that weight loss plateau, stress might be the issue for you. Stress also decreases nutrient absorption. Now, a lot of people say, well, why do I need to supplement with vitamins and all this? Can I get it out of my whole foods? Absolutely. But if you're under even mild chronic stress, you're not going to be absorbing those nutrients. B vitamins, you need it for energy. Vitamin D, it's awesome for colds and the flu. I have not gotten a cold or the flu, I don't know how many years. I take vitamin D. So some nutrients are not going to be absorbed. It also increases excretion of, so we're going to be peeing out calcium, which we need for our bones, right, ladies? Magnesium, which calms us down. It also is great for headaches and migraines. Potassium we need for our heart, for proper heart function. Zinc, chromium, selenium, microminerals. So we're going to be, not only are we not going to be absorbing, we're also going to be losing and peeing out vitamins and minerals that we really need. Stress also decreases gut flora populations. You might be familiar with leaky gut syndrome, and it seems to be on the rise. You know, us Americans, we're like the most stressed society, most stressed country out there, right? Yeah. So it has it affects our health in so many different ways. So it actually destroys our healthy intestinal bacteria. Our bodies have bacteria, the good kind that we need. And if we don't have the proper levels of it, it can lead to immune problems, skin deficiencies, and digestive stress, AKA chronic constipation, diarrhea, bloating, and gas. Does that sound familiar to anyone? And it also decreases our thyroid hormone, which can negatively affect our metabolism. So thyroid hormone, normally they say, ladies, you need to start checking at late 30s, early 40s, because it decreases. Our thyroid doesn't function as well as we get older, but they're actually seeing younger people whose thyroid is not working as efficiently, and then they need to be on thyroid medication. Stress. It also decreases sex hormones, which leads to losses of libido and low energy. And if we're lower in energy, we're not going to be motivated to stay the course when it comes to our weight loss and our health journey, right? So shutdown secret number one, we're going to start your day off right. We're going to start with some energy. All right. Because stress depletes our energy. So if we start our day off with energy, when we go into those stressful situations, whether it be driving in downtown traffic or you work in a stressful environment, whatever it may be, or you're running late to work, we need to start off with some energy. So first thing is toss it back. Very easy energy booster is drink water first thing in the morning. So tonight before you go to bed, I'm going to challenge you, my friends. Put a 20-ounce glass of water by your bathroom sink. And when you wake up in the morning, down that baby. Don't sip it, just toss back that whole glass of water, even before you brush your teeth, okay? Before your cup of coffee. I'm not saying don't drink your cup of coffee or tea or whatever you have in the morning, but drink your water first. Why? I'm going to skip all the way down here. It helps deliver oxygen to your muscles, which immediately boosts your body's energy. We got to hydrate ourselves, okay? Most of us are dehydrated to a certain extent already because we don't drink enough water throughout the day. So then you've been asleep for 5 to 8 hours, how many hours you sleep, not having had any water. So we have to drink it first thing in the morning. That is a real easy energy booster. All right, so next one, how to become this Energizer bunny, right, is we have to eat breakfast. Now, if you're one that you're like, I really don't need breakfast, but yet you're kind of low on energy throughout the day, try it for at least a week, okay? Within an hour of waking up, eat breakfast. Now, this is not going to be your donuts, your bagels, your pastries, what people typically get when they go to the coffee shops, the popular coffee shops. I'm not saying don't go there for a coffee. I'm just saying choose a different breakfast, okay? Choose protein. Because when we eat those donuts, bagels, and pastries, it puts us on this roller coaster ride with our blood sugar. What goes up must come down, my friends, right? And it does it quickly. So yes, you have an immediate source of energy with that sugar high, but guess what? You also have a quickly, if you ever see those roller coaster rides where it's almost just a dead drop, that's what our energy does. It just is dead drop, low on energy by about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. That was me a lot too. Like, I feel like I need another cup of coffee by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So eat a protein breakfast, eggs, steel cut oats, Greek yogurt, the full fat version, by the way, or a protein meal replacement shake or a protein meal replacement bar. Now the shakes and the bars, caveat to this is it needs to be at least 200 calories. And with your shakes, you don't need to add anything but water, because if it calls for you to add milk, it's not a complete meal replacement in and of itself, just FYI. So try it for a week. If you're one to not eat breakfast, just at least try it for a week and see how it does with your body, okay? Because you will have energy when stressed. Once again, stress depletes our energy. So getting into this habit of eating a protein breakfast within 1 hour of waking will give you the energy you need to fight that stress, and you'll be amazed at the results, all right? So no more having that dead energy like mid-morning, right? All right, so shutdown secret number 2, less is more. All right, caffeinate responsibly, okay? I'm not saying ditch your coffee. I drink coffee myself, but we got to do so responsibly, because caffeine combined with even mild stress increases our cortisol levels, which is that stress hormone, AKA I'm going to gain weight. Why? Because cortisol makes us crave and eat and eat and eat, and guess what? And eat some more. And there's actually a study out of the University of Oklahoma. And what they did is they wanted to find out how caffeine affects us when we're under stress. And they found that drinking just 2.5 to 3 cups of coffee while under mild stress, once again, you're not stressed out, you're just under some mild stress, maybe fighting that traffic in the morning, it increases cortisol by 25%, and it keeps it that high for 3 hours. So if you find yourself like, man, I'm eating and eating and eating and I can't stop eating, check your stress levels and how much caffeine you have consumed, because the combination might be what's going on. And once I learned this, I was like, dang, no wonder I feel like I could eat and eat and eat and not stop eating, right? Plus, what they also found was drinking 6 cups of coffee, well, even under mild stress, increases cortisol 30%, and it stayed high all day long. So if you feel like I'm eating and eating and eating and eating, and I just can't stop eating, because this was so me back in the day. I'm like, I can't stop eating. Even when you're physically sick, like I would feel physically sick, like I'm going to puke, but I'm like, but one more piece of pizza. Oh, but some more of that. Yeah, if you've ever felt like that, check how much caffeine you have consumed. Now, it's interesting because they didn't have the participants drink the 6 cups of coffee. They actually gave them caffeine tablets. So check your caffeine. So consume less caffeine when you're stressed. Now, we as women, we're so used to just keep going and going and going that until we get, for many of us, until we get to the I'm stressed out part, we really don't realize how stressed we are. So, because women, our lives, it's like a bowl of spaghetti, right? Each noodle touches the other noodles, like finances, relationships, kids, health, every aspect touches other aspects of our lives. And we're so used to just doing what we need to do to get the tasks done that some of us don't realize how stressed we really are. So you might just want to cut back on the caffeine in general for yourself, okay? Especially if you're saying I'm doing all the things and I'm just not losing the weight and you're a big coffee drinker, cut back on it a little bit and just see how that helps you. All right, so prevent those cravings and the binge eating. Next one, and less is more, stop the constant dieting. Constant dieting, AKA where you're really restricting your calories and depriving yourself, causes cortisol levels to rise 18%. Yeah, so me going from diet to diet to diet, like restricting my calories, I was like, no wonder I couldn't lose the weight because my cortisol levels are still high, even when I'm trying to lose weight. I'm like, dude, it's like a catch-22, right? And dieting also puts you on that blood sugar roller coaster. You might, what up goes up, must come down. So we have a sugar high, sugar low, but our body, you're like, well, maybe you're thinking, well, dieting, I'm not really eating a whole lot of sugar. We do need sugar, but it has to be a good sugar for energy. So by restricting calories, most likely you're not getting the sugar, the good sugar that you need for the energy that you need. So when our energy is low and it plummets, it makes us cranky and ravenous. Has anyone ever had the hangries or know anyone who's had the hangries? Like you're just like, they're mean too sometimes, right? I can get hangry, let me tell you. That was me. All right, so stop. So it was watch the caffeine and stop the constant dieting. So less is more in this aspect of it. So this is one of my clients, Brandy. She's 7 pounds down without dieting. And her thing was stress and energy levels. Like she was really stressed and she had low energy levels. So she had no motivation to be consistent. And no motivation even to just take a walk. And she said after working with me, she no longer has those dreaded sugar cravings. She lost 7 pounds in 6 weeks and her energy and sharp thinking are steadily coming back. All right, so now we're at shutdown secret number 3. To decrease stress, be zen and just breathe. This is one where we're going to find out how to burn that fat. So this is the 5-5-7 breath. And out of all my clients, this is one of their favorite tools that they learn and that they implement the most. So before your next meal and whenever you feel stressed, this is useful. This is how we're going to de-stress in 2 minutes. And it's also how we're going to burn that fat. So how it works is you're going to inhale for a count of 5. Then you will hold your breath for a count of 5, and then you're going to exhale for a count of 7. So the exhale is actually long, and when I first have clients start to do this, I actually have them exhale first because we are such shallow breathers that we're not exhaling enough and we're not inhaling enough. All right, I'm talking about breath, not anything else we could be inhaling, okay? And when you breathe, your belly should expand. If you've ever taken voice lessons, that's one of the things that they say. They're like, let your belly out. And I don't know about you, but I was always sucking it in, right? No, don't show the belly. And then taking voice lessons, they're like, get that deep breath. Your belly will expand as well. And that lets us know they're actually getting a breath all the way through our lungs. So if you do this 10 times, you will de-stress in 2 minutes. Even if you don't have the time to do this 10 times, even if you just do it 3 times before your next meal, it'll help you to de-stress, okay? Because when we're stressed, we actually eat faster, and then our body doesn't have the time to let us know when we're comfortably full. So that by the time we're eating, actually over capacity, where you have overeaten. And you might feel like, oh, have you ever at lunchtime, dinner time, oh, I overate. And you felt like you're eating fast. That's the reason why. So 5-5-7 breath, inhale for a count of 5. And you can just like go into the bathroom and do this. If you don't want anyone else to see you, hey, by all means. It works whenever you feel stressed as well. And you can feel if your heart rate is elevated and you're in a certain situation, that's a little bit of stress going on. This works wonders, even if you just do it 2 or 3 times to just decrease that stress. All right. So what happens is this gives your body to relax before your meal, and it actually tricks your body too. Our bodies are great. But when we're under stress, our body does not understand. If we are literally running for our lives, maybe there's a tiger chasing us, right? Or we've lost our keys and we're late from work. It just knows that we're stressed. One is life and death, the other one not so much, right? So it just knows that we're under stress. So when we do this 5-5-7 breath, our head's like, our body's like, whew, I thought I was stressed, but I'm breathing like a relaxed person. So I must not be stressed. And then it changes things. When we're under stress, our body turns off digestion. Why? Because it puts the blood where we need it in our arms and legs so that we can run away from that tiger. So when we eat when we're stressed, our body cannot digest the food. And because it cannot digest that food that we've just eaten is stored as fat. Say what? Yeah, that food that we've just eaten is stored on our bodies as fat. When we are relaxed and our body's like, whew, I'm relaxed, it turns on digestion and turns off the stress. So that when we do eat and we're more in control, our body can pull more nutrients from the food and it will properly digest our food and it will not be stored as fat. What? Yeah! Just by doing this 5-5-7 breath, our food that we eat will not be stored as fat. Yeah, we can do a lot of happy dance for that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is my favorite thing to do out of all of them. All right. So have you gotten value so far? And thanks everyone for joining us. So you might be thinking, that's awesome, but how can I use this to get results? Now, okay, you can definitely do the water. Tonight before you go to bed, put the 20-ounce glass of water on your bathroom sink. Tomorrow when you wake up, down that baby, get an immediate source of energy. Because maybe you don't have what you need for a good protein breakfast right now, but you can definitely do the water, right? That's an easy thing to do. 5-5-7 breath you can do whenever you're stressed, right? But sometimes we know what we need to do, but we just don't implement it, right? How many of you that was me too. It's like a lot of times we know what we need to do, we just don't do it, or we don't do it consistently enough to continue to see results, or we've hit that weight loss plateau. So to get results now, you can do this by yourself, absolutely. But if you're the type of person that you really need accountability, like things just go by the wayside, it might take you a little longer. You might be, I'll do it a couple times and then stop, and do it a couple times and then stop, right? So it might take you a little longer. But you can still do it by yourself, or you can lock arms with someone who has already proven to make it work in busy everyday life. Because with anything that we do, when it comes to losing weight and getting healthy, there are 3 key ingredients that must be in place: the right system, the right support, and the right accountability. So I'm going to give you something that includes all 3, and it is free, my friends. Okay, to encourage your progress, we're going to support you in building this firmer foundation for weight loss success. And it's to give you a blueprint to set yourself up for weight loss success. Once again, it's not about how much you lose or how much weight you need to lose. It's not about specific meal plans, okay? This time really can be different. So if you want to have an action plan and build a firmer foundation so that you can set yourself up for weight loss success, this is specifically for you. So here's how we're going to do it. Click the link now. It's actually up in the description above. In the description above. All right. If you have some questions in the meantime, feel free to message me if you think of some. In the meantime, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you. All right, awesome. See you.